We're in Matthew chapter 10, which is the second speech that Jesus gives in Matthew's gospel. The first speech was Matthew 5 through 7, which is the famous Sermon on the Mount. And Jesus gives the definition of what it means to live the good life according to God's wisdom and not mankind's wisdom. And so in Matthew chapter 10, this is what we call the missionary speech. This is Jesus calling 12 disciples to himself and then sending them out to the lost house of Israel to preach repentance, preach the kingdom, and for them to get on board God's plan. Now this mirrors the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. God calls Israel, his nation, out of Egypt. At the base of Mount Sinai, he calls them to be his people, his royal priesthood, his king priests in the world. And he says, I'll bless you and I want you to be a light to the nations. And then he has Moses form the 12 tribes at the end of Deuteronomy. So where the 12 sons of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, formed the 12 tribes, they were organized into a federation in the Old Testament. And God said, these 12 tribes are going to represent me in the world. Well, Jesus choosing the 12 disciples and then calling them to go and be a light to the nations is mirroring what Moses did. So Jesus is not only saying, I am God calling a new people to myself to be a light to the nations, but I'm also acting as a new Moses who is commissioning these 12 and sending them out. Jesus in Matthew 10 and 11, he calls a new group of 12 to represent the 12 tribes that are supposed to be the ones who go to the nations, to the lost house of Israel, to gather God's people back to himself.